Hello neighbor, this is Curt with eTrailer, and today we're going to take a look at the Yakima StageTwo platform bike rack on our 2024 Hyundai Tucson. Now if you've had any experience with the Yakima StageTwo, or you watch this video and you've got some questions, go ahead and leave those in the comments below. We'd love to use your stories and your questions to help our other neighbors make the best decision for themselves. Now the Yakima StageTwo is a platform rack. It is a wheel-mounted platform rack, so it's going to do really good on any of your bikes that may have a carbon fiber frame or a custom paint job. However, if your bike has fenders, you may want to take a look at a different platform rack than this that would be frame-mounted. There are 2 points of contact. There is a ratcheting strap at the wheel here, and there is, of course, this tower and cradle that we have on our front tower. There are going to be a few great features to this bike rack. It does have a tilt-away feature, which we'll show in a moment, as well as a stowaway feature. But at 70 pounds per bike, this is going to be able to handle just about anything you can throw at it. So you will be able to use your e-bikes, and while this is a little bit higher up than some platform racks, there is a ramp available for you to purchase separately to help with those heavier bikes. There are also wheel adapters if you have a fat bike that it can accommodate for you. And really, it's going to be an overall excellent choice if you need a 2-bike rack. If you needed a 4-bike rack, there's also an add-on to make it that. Now, one of my favorite features of this bike rack is that each cradle and tower has its own cable lock. And those cable locks will work with Yakima's SKS or same key system. And what that means is you can get your Yakima accessories keyed alike so that you don't have multiple keys for each accessory. So if you have a rooftop cargo box, or you have a roof rack that's Yakima and you want everything to be keyed the same, you can do that through their SKS system. So after a look at all of those features, the next question then becomes, how does my Yakima StageTwo interact with my 2024 Hyundai Tucson? Well, as you can see, there is going to be some obstruction back here in the back, but this is going to be pretty common with most platform bike racks anyway. We're going to get some partial obstruction of the license plate and the backup camera. And at least on the tower side, like if we had 2 bikes, our taillights would generally be completely obstructed. So that is something for you to be aware of while you're out on the road. And because you're going to have obstruction to your rear view camera, it's a good idea to understand what kind of footprint this is leaving behind on your vehicle. So we're going to go ahead and take a few measurements and check that out. So as far as how far out it's going to stick from the vehicle, we're going to go ahead and take a measurement from the bumper to the farthest part of the handle here. And that puts us right at 36 inches. So you're going to have an extra 3 feet behind you whenever you're backing up. So just keep that in mind because, again, you're not going to be seeing very well out of that rear view camera. This bike rack also has a tiered platform, meaning as it gets away from the vehicle, the bikes come a little bit higher up as you go. So ground clearance really isn't a worry for me, but we're going to go ahead and check it out anyway. And basically from this lower part of the handle here, we're at a little over 19 inches of ground clearance. So again, if you're going up a steep driveway or an incline, it's something to be conscious of. But with that kind of clearance, it doesn't have me too worried. So how is this going to interact with my Hyundai Tucson when I don't have a bike on it? Well, we're going to take the bike off and we're going to go ahead and put it in the stowed position and check that out. So to remove the bike, you always want to do the wheel first, not the cradle and tower up there. So we're just going to pop that tab, remove our rear wheel strap, get that out of the way. Then we're going to come around here to the front, get a good steady hold on our bike, depress that button, and we're going to swing our arm out of the way. Now, if we had an e-bike, again, there is a ramp available where we could just roll this off, but this bike's relatively light, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab it and get it off of our rack. Now that we've got the bike removed, we went ahead and reset our wheel strap back here and knocked our arm down just to lay flat against it. We're going to use that same lever that we used for the tilt-away, we're going to use for the stowaway. We're just going to lift and go in the opposite direction. So we'll go ahead and pull that, get it up here until we hear it click. Now it's in place. And now, as you can see, there's a little bit less obscurity, obviously, on the taillights. However, our rear view camera is going to be completely blocked. Our license plate is almost completely blocked. So let's take a look at the clearance that we're going to have back here, just so that you understand what's going behind your vehicle. So in the stowed position, we're looking at the rack adding an extra 12 inches to the back of your vehicle. So again, because your rear view camera is going to be obstructed, just be aware that you got an extra foot back there whenever you're backing up or trying to fit into a tight space. Now, as far as how it connects to the vehicle, there is a special pin that it comes with that's going to secure it into the hitch. It also has a wedge system inside of the shank that as you turn this knob, it's going to expand it, and it's going to take up a lot of the extra slack that's in your hitch receiver so that it doesn't rattle around too much behind you at all. This is also a lockable knob. It's keyed the same as the cable locks were for your bikes on the platform. So you can actually lock this to where this will just spin freely and no one will be able to remove it from your shank. We also took one added step because with hitch accessories, the vibration, they do tend to rattle around a lot. So anything we could do to keep them steady is always a good idea. We've also added the etrailer hitch collar. Now the etrailer anti-rattle hitch collar is available on etrailer.com separately. And the way it's going to work is that the face of it is going to go right around the face of your hitch receiver. When you tighten this knob up here on the bottom, there's a wedge in the top corner that's going to come down and pin the shank of your bike rack to the corner of your receiver and make it immobile. And what that ends up doing for us is creating a situation where there is no movement at all inside that shank. So that's really going to cut down on the noise as you're going down the road. So there's a look at the Yakima StageTwo bike rack on our 2024 Hyundai Tucson. I'm Curt with eTrailer. Thanks for stopping by.